Hello students, now we move on to the sixth module of safety in engineering industry. The sixth module covers the topic of welding and its hazards and safety aspects. So it consists of 20% marks for your university semester examination. So we will start off by having an introduction about welding, and then the term weldability or the property weldability, and we'll move on to the types of welding, mainly gas welding and arc welding. And out of arc welding we have to learn in detail about submerged arc welding, TIG, MIG, resistance welding, solid state welding, electron beam welding and laser beam welding. This electron beam welding and laser beam welding are advanced forms of welding. And finally we will move on to allied process known as oxygen cutting, or which is also known as gas cutting. And then into the heat affected zones, weld defects, inspection of welded joints, then few hazards and safety precautions to be considered during welding and cutting. So these will be the topics that we will be discussing in module 6. So let's continue. So before going into welding, we need to know what welding actually is. So welding is a metal joining technique. We've already seen various manufacturing process like primary and secondary process, and welding being a secondary process is a metal joining process. So we have seen few metal joining process in the first year in our BME classes, that is soldering, bracing, welding, then other threaded fasteners, adhesive joints and similar metal joining techniques. So here we will just have an outline of the and revise or recollect our knowledge about metal joining. So joining process and equipments, though basically there are three different processes: welding, adhesive bonding and mechanical fastening. In mechanical fastening there is fastening, seaming, crimping, stitching, etc. Then adhesive bonding, as you are familiar, we apply an adhesive and then join the two materials. Now moving on to welding, welding can be fusion type of welding, bracing and soldering, and solid state welding. In fusion welding we have chemical and electrical, that is in chemical we have oxy-fuel gas or thermite welding. In electrical we have arc, resistance, electron beam and laser beam forms of welding. Then bracing and soldering are the simpler forms of welding or joining metals using fusing techniques, whereas solid state welding comprises of electrical, chemical and mechanical. Under electrical we have resistance welding, under chemical we have diffusion and explosion welding. Then under mechanical we have cold, friction and ultrasonic forms of welding. Ultrasonic weldings are using the movement or using a friction itself by moving the metals at ultrasonic frequency over one another. So in this session we will be dealing with these areas, that is what welding is, an introduction to welding, the advantages and disadvantages of welding over other joining process, then the term weldability, which is a property of the material. Then we have a broad classification of welding process. So let's start with an introduction. So welding is a process for joining two similar or dissimilar metals by fusion. So it joins different metals or alloys with or without the application of pressure and with or without the use of filler metal. So here we can see the terms with or without the application of pressure and also with or without the use of filler metal. So what are the different types of areas or welding where we use pressure? Like in the case of forge welding, there we use pressure, or in any cases where we have to hold the metal together and like inject the or induce the metal into another base metal, there we apply pressure, and without that pressure we cannot assure that the welded joint will hold together. So in that cases we will have to apply pressure. But in the case of welded joints where we have a gravity based support, there we don't have to apply an extra pressure. So in such cases we don't require the application of pressure. And then moving on to with or without the use of filler metal, in cases where we fuse the base metals itself by applying a high amount of heat, and where we have the base metal in excess, there we don't have to use an additional filler metal. But in cases where we prepare the weld and form crevices like a V-butt joint, there we will have to use a filler metal which will be used as a consumable electrode or another continuous coils of filler metal. That is again when we use two different types of electrodes, that one being the consumable electrode, another one being the non-consumable electrode. So welding is a very broad area, and depending on our application we can select different types of welding. Then the fusion of metal takes place by means of heat. Then the heat may be generated either from combustion of gases, electric arc, electric resistance, or by chemical reaction. So we have already seen in the classification the various forms of generating heat for the fusing of the metals. And during some type of welding process, pressure may be employed, but this is not essential requirement for all welding processes, like we had already discussed. I've just quoted that again so as to imply on the application of pressure, mainly used in the case of forge welding, which we have seen in when we discussed about forging and the types of forging or forging process. When we discussed, we had already come across forge welding, where we apply an extra pressure on the prepared joint. So welding provides a permanent joint, but it normally affects the metallurgy of the components. It is therefore usually accompanied by post-weld heat treatments for the most critical of components. So why welding affects the metallurgy of components? That is because of the presence of heat affected zones. So like you can see, when you join two metallic parts, and by the application of heat, there will be heat treatment process occurring. So in such situations, and also there can be additional gases or elements which get added on to the surface of the joint material or to the joint itself. So in such cases you won't be getting the property similar to the base metal, and that can be overcome by applying the post-weld heat treatment process by techniques where you have to harden or soften the material. You apply such heat treatment or surface treatment techniques for the welded joints, and it provides a permanent joint, like soldering or bracing also provides the permanent joint, whereas riveting and other threaded fasteners doesn't provide a permanent joint. It just provides a temporary joint which can be removed as and when you like. But here, when if you need to break the or detach the welded components, you need to either break the joint or cut open the parts. And welding is widely used as a fabrication and repairing process in industries. Some of the typical applications of welding include fabrication of ships, pressure vessels, automobile bodies, offshore platform, bridges, welded pipes, sealing of nuclear fuel and explosives. These are all the industrial applications, and we are very common with the truss working in our houses or in the neighborhood, where we see pipes being welded into trusses and then established on top of our buildings. So that is the most common application which we can see around us, whereas these are all the industrial applications, like the fabrication or building of ships, pressure vessels. Pressure vessels and all require high pressure permanent joints, and which need to be very good joints. So in such cases we will go for welding as the best selection of manufacturing process. So now moving on, we will see what are the advantages of welding over other manufacturing process or other joining techniques. So welding is more economical and is much faster process as compared to other processes like riveting, bolting, casting, etc. Then welding, if properly controlled, results in permanent joints having strength equal or sometimes more than the base metal. Like I said, due to the heat affected zones or heat treatment that is occurring, sometimes the joint can be even stronger than the base metal. And large number of metals and alloys, both similar and dissimilar, can be joined by welding. So in case we have to join two dissimilar materials or metals, we can use a suitable filler material which has metallurgical joining properties, which is what you call adjustable with both the base metals. So generally welding equipment is not very costly, and in case it is costly also, there are situations where you can rent it out or simply what you call lease it out. And then we have portable welding equipments which can be easily made available in cases where you cannot buy or establish, or your economical condition doesn't allow you to establish a complete welding equipment arrangement. Then welding permits considerable freedom in design. Then welding can join welding jobs through spots as well as continuous pressure tight seams end to end and in number of other configurations. So you can design and make any model as per your wish. So finally, welding can also be mechanized. There are automated welding machines. If you go into the automobile manufacturing industry, you will have see robotic arms welding the car or whichever automobile is being manufactured. So those end effectors can be replaced by welding guns. Then there are few disadvantages along with the advantages. It results in residual stress and distortion of workpiece. Again, whereas when heat treatment has a positive aspect, it also causes negative aspect by forming residual stress and distortion of workpiece due to the excess heat. And if you don't select the welding process correctly, your welded joint will have many internal flaws. So whenever you need to weld, you need to select the welding process or welding technique accurately and design the weld correctly so that the joint is intact even after cooling of the welded joint. Then welded joint needs stress relieving and heat treatment. Again, an additional or after weld heat treatment process is what is mentioned here. Then welding gives out harmful radiations, like you when you see in your neighborhood, there will be ultraviolet radiations or light which is coming out, then fumes and sparks or spatter of the molten metal. Then jigs and fixtures may also be needed to hold and position the parts to be welded. These are all rare scenarios which can be easily addressed to. And then adjust preparation of welding jobs are required before welding. This is again very important. If you don't prepare your weld before welding, that is gonna cost you a lot of money and time, because even after you have done welding, your joint may fail after a very short time rather than serving its lifespan. Then skilled welder is required for production of good welding. That is not much essential when you go for the concealed welding and all. You don't require a skilled welder, but to have a better surface finish and better joint appearance, we always prefer a skilled welder. Heat during welding process produces metallurgical changes, as the structure of the welded joining is not same as that of the parent metal. These are all discussed previously itself. So these are all the advantages and disadvantages of welding. So now we will come across a new term or property which we had already seen in first module when we discussed about the technological property or mechanical property of materials, and that is weldability. The weldability of a material refers to its ability to be welded, like we had seen machinability, castability, forgeability. Here weldability is also a property which refers to the ability to be of a material to be welded. So many metals and thermoplastics can be welded, but some are easier to weld than others. That depends on the weldability of the material. So it greatly influences weld quality and is an important factor to choose which welding process to use. Again, a very very important area. If you don't select your welding process correctly, you are gonna lose time and money. So weldability need to be known, and weldability is not always a fixed parameter. It may vary depending on the constitution of your material or composition of your material, the thickness of your material. It varies. So you need to be very selective when considering the welded joint. And then weldability is a simple measure of how easy it is to make a weld in particular material without cracks. Again, that is without failure. If you get a weld with crack, it is not a proper joint. So you need to make sure that you are having weld without cracks. So it is easy to avoid cracking. The material is said to be weldable, and that is the definition of weldability. For a weld to be truly successful, it is also necessary for it to have adequate mechanical properties and to be able to withstand degradation in service. That is example, corrosion damage. And thus weldability is a measure of how easy it is to obtain crack-free welds, achieve adequate mechanical properties, and produce welds resistant to service degradation. So that is all about weld. Now we will see the classification of welding process. So welding process, like I said, basically is classified into arc welding, gas welding, resistance welding, thermite welding, solid state welding, then few additional or exceptional cases where we have advanced forms of welding, and then there are the related process or some areas or process which use the principle of welding but is not same as that of welding. So arc welding is again categorized into carbon arc, metal arc welding, metal inert gas welding, tungsten inert gas welding, that is MIG and TIG. Then you have plasma arc welding, submerged arc welding, electrostatic welding, etc. Then gas welding is classified into oxyacetylene, air acetylene, and oxyhydrogen. So these are based on the gases that we use, that gas welding is categorized, but the principle behind all these are the same, that is we use a combination of fuel and air or oxygen to create a flame and then fuse the metal. Then we have resistance welding in the form of butt, spot, seam, projection and percussion welding, thermite welding or aluminothermy, which is very familiar to you, used in railway track welding, which uses aluminum oxide and aluminum and ferrous oxide. It is a thermite very high exothermic chemical reaction process, that is called thermite welding. Then solid state welding, which is again classified into friction, ultrasonic, diffusion and explosive welding. Then we have the advanced forms like electron beam and laser beam welding, and few related processes like oxyacetylene cutting, which is oxygen cutting, then arc cutting, hard facing brazing and soldering. So again we will see just how it is categorized. Oxy-fuel gas welding process, namely air acetylene, oxyacetylene, oxyhydrogen and pressure gas welding. Moving on to arc welding process, we have carbon arc welding, which is the simple form of welding where you have the base metal being fused in the presence of a carbon coil supply, and that carbon is melted or reacts with the oxygen in the presence of heat and forms a shielding gas, which is the carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. Then we have the shielded metal arc welding. Instead of using carbon coils, we have the flux coated electrode, which is used in shielded metal arc welding, again forming a shielding gas over the metal arc. Then we have the submerged arc welding, the gas tungsten arc welding, also known as TIG, tungsten inert gas welding, or GTAW. Then we have the gas metal arc welding, GMAW or MIG, metal inert gas welding, which uses the inert gas to form the serve the role as shielding gas. Then we have the plasma arc welding, atomic hydrogen welding. These are again advanced forms of arc welding process. Then electroslag welding, stud arc welding and electro gas welding. Then we have resistance welding in the forms of spot welding, seam welding, projection welding, resistance butt welding, flash butt welding, percussion welding, all based on how the weld appears post welding operation. Then we have the solid state welding, which is forge welding, which we have already seen in the types of forging process, and I won't be discussing more in detail about forge welding. Then the cold pressure welding. Here the metal is not fused, metal remains in its solid form itself. Rather than getting converted in the molten state, we will maintain it in the solid state. That is why it is called as solid state welding, where the phase of the metal does not change. We apply pressure and also the friction in order to make the joint. It is more of a combination between pressure welding and adhesive welding. So that is forge welding, cold pressure welding, friction welding, explosive welding, diffusion welding, cold pressure welding and thermocompression welding. And then we have the thermite welding process, thermite welding and pressure thermite welding. Again, it is a chemical energy based welding process where you make use of an exothermic chemical reaction to produce the welded joint. Then the radiant energy welding process, like I said, these are the advanced welding operations: laser welding and electron beam welding. And then we have the few allied process like metal joining or metal depositing process, for example soldering and bracing, which you have studied in the first year. Soldering being used for electronic or electrical joints, then bracing where we make use of the filler metal. Rather than fusing the base metal, we melt the filler metal and then join it at lower temperatures. And then we have the brace welding, which is very similar to bracing. Then adhesive bonding, metal spraying and surfacing. Metal spraying is where we coat the metal with another material in order to make the joint more strong. Then you have the thermal cutting process, that is gas cutting and arc cutting. So that's all for this session. We will have detailed discussion on the different process in our next session.